Tonight on CTV News, a frantic escape.
By the time I literally got the dogs into the car, the fire was probably not even 500 yards away.
A family's harrowing tale of trying to pack up with an out-of-control wildfire raging closer to their home and then having to watch through their doorbell camera. Also tonight.
I was in fact quite flabbergasted to read about this particular incident.
Concerning new details in a 3-year-old case, were police justified in their use of force when they intentionally set a home on fire during a tense standoff? And they saved her bacon, and she's now named Canadian Bacon. How Vancouver police helped rescue an abandoned week-old seal pup on Bowen Island.
This is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. BC's wildfire situation is changing rapidly tonight, and more evacuation alerts are being issued. We'll have those details in just a moment, but first, a heartbreaking account of what it's like for people who have to pack up and leave. A couple from the Boston Bar area have a camera on their property, and they watched in horror as a raging fire approached their farm. CTV's Shannon Patterson has their story.
You know, you can see the sparks are falling everywhere. There's a tree on fire.
Tammy Del Pedato watched in real time on her doorbell camera as the wildfire burning near Boston Bar roared towards her 100-acre property and farmhouse in North Bend Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, my front one died, so that would have been really good to have. But the back one was filming where the fire was coming from.
The fire flared up while Del Pedato and her husband were buying animal feed in Hope. When they returned, they had just minutes to turn on sprinklers, grab their pets, and let their farm animals out of their pens.
By the time I literally got the dogs into the car, the fire was probably not even 500 yards away. I just opened the gate, let the lambs go. Simba, my oldest livestock guardian dog, he just ran. He wouldn't come near us. He was just freaked right out.
They had to leave Simba and their sheep behind.
To look up when you're trying to get your animals and you see that fire so close and you're just like, run babies, run. Trees are going up on, in the ravine.
As they drove towards Surrey, the Del Pedatos watched the fire approach on their doorbell camera.
It gives me goosebumps even looking at it. This is over here where the little turkey house is, and that's where the big flare came and burnt their little house down.
They watched other outbuildings and some vehicles and machinery burn, but didn't know the condition of their beloved farmhouse.
We thought of it as, like our place to retire and do what we wanted to do.
In the early morning hours, the flames died down and structure protection crews arrived on scene.
The guys are walking here. They're carrying buckets. You can still see sparks flying, tons of ash falling. They're doing a great job, if you ask me. They're really trying to save someone's home.
The video feed cut out at 5 a.m. when their generator died. This afternoon, the Del Pedatos got word their home is still standing and their animals safe. A glimmer of good news for a mom who lost her 23-year-old son, Lucien, to cancer 2 years ago.
It was one of his favorite places to come. I just hope, that whatever damage is done, I know we'll rebuild from it. And just move forward. It'll just be one of those trials in life that you have to get through.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Surrey.
One of the newest fires in the Fraser Canyon quadrupled in size overnight. Hell's Gate, Boston Bar, and the surrounding area have been evacuated. Highway 1 remains closed. CTV's Dimitra Maragos has the latest.
I'm here on Highway 1 near Spuzzum, and right behind me is the closest the public can get before being turned away as the Brunswick Creek Fire Complex continues to burn out of control. Thick smoke covering Highway 1 towards Boston Bar. The smoke stretching well beyond the fire zone, reaching communities like Hope, where the smell, haze, and concern are becoming all too familiar.
My feeling is that it's very unfortunate that we're at that stage where we need to experience this pretty much every summer.
The new normal almost. Hopefully not, but it seems that way, yeah.
Smoke evoking similar sentiments from road trippers.
We weren't expecting this much smoke so soon. We're a little bit concerned about it. You can feel it in your nose and your throat.
One woman on her way to Vernon says she had to change course due to safety concerns and road closures.
You have to be flexible. You have to just be able to pivot and change your plans, because what are you going to do? You can't control it.
The Brunswick Creek Fire Complex continues to challenge firefighting efforts.
It was fire behavior and terrain were too difficult for our ground crews to engage directly. So we were limited to aviation working on it there.
While bucketing crews were battling the blaze, they spotted a third fire nearby, the Anderson Creek wildfire, discovered Tuesday.
It's challenging for sure, but we have to do the job that's in front of us.
The BC Wildfire Service says conditions aren't expected to improve anytime soon.
It's going to stay hot and dry. It may or may not be quite as bad as today in the next few days, but there's no weather on its way that's going to make a big difference in the near term.
With evacuation orders in place, many residents are fleeing to Chilliwack and Kamloops. This Kamloops resident says they're ready to help.
I'm feeling like it's great we can help. I mean, how else would anyone feel?
The BC Wildfire Service says the Brunswick Creek Fire Complex is believed to be human-caused. Dimitri Marigo, CTV News, Highway 1 near Spuzzum.
Within the last hour, there are new evacuation orders and alerts in the Thompson-Nicola. That includes the entire village of Clinton, where residents have been told they need to be ready to leave. Meanwhile, roughly 8,000 people in the city of Kimberley are also on alert due to the Matthew Creek wildfire. The BC Wildfire Service expects the temperature to slowly drop in the coming days, but the winds to increase through to the weekend. Crews were hoping to carry out a planned ignition today, but have canceled late this afternoon due to increased wildfire activity.
This will be a low-intensity planned ignition on the eastern flank of the Matthew Creek wildfire. This ignition will consume the buildup of dead and combustible materials and tie into natural features, limiting the impacts to the watershed.
Meanwhile, Highway 3 between Sunshine Valley and Manning Park remains closed due to the Norwegian Creek fire, with smoke a major concern for driver safety. The extreme heat we've been experiencing across BC has led to record-breaking electricity demand. BC Hydro says the new all-time summer peak was hit yesterday evening between 5 and 6 p.m. as people sought shelter from the heat and made full use of their air conditioning units. At its peak, electricity use reached more than 8,700 megawatts, surpassing the previous record set last August. The utility says another record could be set today as the hot weather continues. Well, Anne, I think everybody wants to know, how long is this hot weather going to continue?
Well, the good news is what everybody is looking forward to hearing is tonight is when we expect to see the heat break along the coast. So the heat warnings are expected to end tonight for the interior. Another day of hot weather as the heat warnings continue into tomorrow. But some good news and some relief as we head into the next couple of days. There is a low pressure system out towards the north, as you can see in green, and that is going to slide down the coast. That's going to bring us cooler temperatures and much needed rain as we head into the weekend. I've got more details on that as well as your full forecast coming out.
All right, thank you, Anne. West Kelowna RCMP say a 4-year-old boy who was the subject of an Amber Alert has been found safe, along with his mother, who was listed as a suspect when the alert went out to mobile phones across the province just after midnight. CTV's Ben Milger has been following this for us today. Ben, what can you tell us?
Nafisa, this is the second time in less than a week the same boy has been reported missing in the company of his mother. On Sunday, RCMP in Langley put out a missing person release, but not an Amber Alert. On Monday, Langley Mounties said the boy was found safe, and then 36 hours later, people's phones buzzed with the Amber Alert, saying the boy was missing again. According to RCMP, tips from the public helped police locate the child and mother in Vernon, about 80 kilometers north of their last known whereabouts listed in the Amber Alert. We asked police to help us understand the decision-making that led to an alert being issued overnight, but not when the child was first reported missing and then found days earlier. The RCMP says certain criteria must be met before an Amber Alert is issued, including reasonable grounds to believe the victim is in imminent danger. That was the determination made by West Kelowna Mounties overnight. In a statement, police said, "We are pleased that the missing 4-year-old has been located safely. At this stage, our primary focus is ensuring his well-being and supporting the ongoing investigation." Police referred to this as an alleged case of parental abduction. We asked about potential charges, but RCMP say to protect the integrity of the investigation, they cannot comment on that at this time. Nafisa?
Ben, thank you. Canada's premiers gathered in Charlottetown today, hashing out demands for the federal government. But once again, the latest tariff threats from U.S. President Donald Trump loomed large. CTV's Rob Buffum reports.
Facing the specter of new Trump tariffs in less than a month, Canada's premiers held their annual meeting and stressed the importance of a unified front.
A single arrow can be broken easily, but a bundle of arrows cannot be snapped. And so national unity is important, especially when we're going up against a much larger opponent like the American economy.
Just what that Team Canada response will look like remains unclear. Alberta's Danielle Smith is pushing for diplomacy, while Ontario's Doug Ford has mused about retaliatory tariffs on energy and says he's not ruling out using Ontario's electricity as arsenal.
Everything's on the table. We can't keep rolling over for Donald Trump.
BC's Premier David Eby also supports retaliatory tariffs.
If the Prime Minister calls British Columbia and says he needs support with some big sticks to have conversations at the table, then we'll be there.
Eby says Trump can't hammer BC's softwood lumber industry with tariffs while exempting other resources.
We need to be frank with the Americans that they will not get the kind of access that they seek to what's in Canada if this is how the conduct's going to go.
The new tariffs would indeed exempt oil, potash, and critical minerals, but impose 50% duties on other Canadian goods, including plywood, a threat that's already caused pain in the industry.
The decision on Monday means they've slowed down in going ahead with those decisions to bring in more raw materials, which means less logs coming into their operations.
They meet Thursday with Prime Minister Carney, the last day of the summit and first formal in-person chance to formulate a cohesive counterattack.
Rob joins us live now from Victoria. Rob, what other issues do the premiers address today?
Well, Nafisa, another big topic today was health care. It's virtually a tradition now that every year this summit takes place, and every year after the premiers meet, they make a demand that the federal government chip in more by way of health care transfers. That happened again this year, true to form, and the premiers intend to raise the issue with Carney tomorrow when they meet with him. Formally, that is. They're having dinner with him tonight, but they're meeting formally tomorrow when health care demands will certainly come up. But again, the dominant topic will be trying to come up with a cohesive plan as to how to respond to Donald Trump's latest terror threats. Nafisa.
Our Legislative Bureau Chief in Victoria tonight. Thank you, Rob. A man facing several fraud-related charges while working for the Canada Revenue Agency is now pleading guilty. He appeared in provincial court today, and as CTV's Yasmin Gandam reports, he'll forego a trial.
35-year-old Yon Zola appeared in person at Vancouver Provincial Court wearing a black suit, pleading guilty to 3 charges. Zola sat next to his lawyer, Michael Shapray. He was arrested in January and charged with 6 offenses. Among the charges, he pleaded guilty, breach of trust by accessing information of 2 people at the CRA, trafficking in identity information, and defrauding of the Canadian Imperial Bank under $5,000. At the time he was working for the Canada Revenue Agency, the RCMP launched an investigation in March of 2022 following a complaint from the CRA that one of its employees had compromised taxpayer information. Because Zola is pleading guilty, voluntarily foregoing his right to a trial, he will have a case management hearing on Friday to decide when he will be in court for sentencing. Yasmin Gandam, CTV News, Vancouver.
A man has died after being shot by Mounties in North Vancouver following a violent confrontation. Police say he tried to take control of a cruiser. This is the moment the man opens the driver's side door of an empty cruiser as Mounties try to stop him, deploying a taser and then eventually opening fire. He was taken to hospital where police say he later died. It happened yesterday afternoon after the man allegedly threatened a McDonald's employee with a knife, then crashed a vehicle in the Westview Plaza parking lot. BC's police watchdog says the man can't be identified until their investigation is complete and are urging witnesses to come forward. There are questions tonight about whether Mounties were justified in their use of force when they intentionally set a home on fire. Court documents reveal it happened during a tense standoff. As CTV's Isabella Zavarisi reports, the RCMP are defending their actions.
This is all that was left of a precedent-setting standoff. In May of 2023, police were called to do a wellness check on Daniel Hackle at his home on Knight Road and Queen Street in Chilliwack. Court documents show Hackle was inside, refused to come out or surrender, threatened to kill officers, and shot at them.
There was shots, and then that scared me, and I ran behind his vehicle.
Those documents now show RCMP approved a plan to intentionally set the residence on fire.
I was, in fact, quite flabbergasted to read about this particular incident. I believe, with all due respect, it was tactically irresponsible.
The RCMP's national headquarters confirm it's the only time this tactic has been used. It's not routine. According to the sentencing decision, the home was located in a compact neighborhood, and there were large amounts of ammunition inside.
It makes it even more egregious that they decided to use fire in this context, knowing that there were some serious harms that could be resulting from their actions. And more than anything, they put the lives of the community at risk.
At the time of the incident, Mounties wouldn't tell CTV News the cause of the fire. Now, years later, they cannot confirm why the information was withheld.
The likelihood that we ever would have uncovered or discovered that this was what happened without that sentencing decision is likely nil, which is incredibly problematic.
Hackle pleaded guilty to the attempted murder of police officers and was sentenced to 4 years in prison. It was determined he was in a mental health crisis. The RCMP defend their decision, saying officers had exhausted all reasonable and available de-escalation options, including the use of crisis negotiators. Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, Vancouver.
A man accused of first-degree murder in the killing of a Burnaby RCMP officer has been found unfit for trial. The decision comes from the BC Review Board after a hearing last week. Jong Won Ham was charged in the killing of Constable Shaylin Yang, who was stabbed to death when she was checking on a man in a tent in Broadview Park in October 2022. The finding means Ham will be kept at the Forensic Psychiatric Hospital in Coquitlam for at least 1 year when the decision is reviewable. After the break, a landscaping experiment that has legs. How a team of hungry goats is tackling groundskeeping duties in Delta. Plus,
Do you want to go get him?
It's the reunion we've been waiting for. A 5-year-old finally gets a beloved Stuffy back after it got lost on a BC ferry last week. When CTV News continues. Stay with us. Talk about a traffic jam. Literally, dozens of crates of blueberries spilled across a road in Mission last week after they fell off a truck. The driver was ticketed for operating with insecure cargo. No one was hurt, but it definitely made for one sticky situation. We've got a nature documentary unfolding on our rooftop here at Robson and Burrard. That is a seagull egg hatching in a nest on the roof of our building. Don't worry, this is a remote-controlled camera. But this is what we were all glued to as the fuzzy chick emerged. Eventually, we got a glimpse of Mama Gull bringing by some food for her hungry babies. It's like a nature documentary.
I know, exactly. And I love how cute and fuzzy and polka dotted they are. And then all changes next week.
I know. They're going to turn into jerks pretty soon.
They sure are. All right, let's take a look at our forecast. Hot and hazy out there, and that continues. We have record highs to tell you about for today. Chilliwack, 37 degrees. The record in 2004, 35.3. Pitt Meadow saw a high of 35.6. Hope at 35.5. Abbotsford at 35.2. And West Vancouver at 32.3. Just inching past the record of 32 degrees set back in 2002. So heat warnings are still in effect along the coast, expected to ease tonight and end for the southern interior. The heat is supposed to continue right through into tomorrow, and we have air quality warnings in place still from Fort Nelson stretching down to the southern interior, Vancouver as well as the Fraser Valley included in that. It's going to be hazy for the next 24 to 48 hours. So here's the air quality health index. Currently the health risk is at moderate for Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley, and at high for the eastern Fraser Valley. That includes Hope. So tomorrow, more hazy conditions for the central coast and central interior under hot and dry conditions. Your provincial forecast at the bottom of your screen. 20 degrees for Port Hardy under a mix of sun and cloud. 27s for Campbell River and Comox under a mix of sun and cloud as well. For the South Island, a few clouds for Tofino. 19 degrees, but then seeing a slight chance of seeing some active weather through the afternoon from Port Alberni right down to Victoria, with temperatures between 22 and 30. For the Sunshine Coast, a few clouds and 26. Warmer up the Sea to Sky Highway, 30 for Squamish, 32 for Whistler, and for us across the Lower Mainland, hazy skies with temperatures between 25 degrees near the water, 29 degrees further inland. And then on Friday, a touch cooler, still above seasonal at 25 degrees, and then a real cool down on Saturday with scattered showers. Rain returns on Sunday, 18 degrees only. On Monday, we'll see a mix of sun and cloud, as well as Tuesday and Wednesday. Temperatures in the low 20s, between 20 and 22 degrees. So hot right now, it's going to feel pretty chilly as we head into the weekend.
You're going to have to remind me in November how much I'm looking forward to this rain.
I sure will.
Thanks, Anne.
You're welcome.
Oh, they are quiet, efficient, and very hungry. Several goats are proving they're better than a weed whacker. The herd is being used to clear brush in Delta, and if they do a good job, they'll be, well, back for years to come. CTV's Kevin Chirac has their story.
This is Dottie, salt, pepper, and Velcro, part of a team of 17 goats hard at work.
Whoever has invasive species, wildfire fuels to reduce, or general brush, the goats are happy to help.
They've been brought in to tackle a Southlands development site in Tsawwassen. Anderson says a goat can eat 3 to 4% of its body weight every day. There's the occasional water break, and pygmy goat Biggie Smalls was spotted taking a well-earned rest from the buffet. But for the most part, the eating never stops.
If it's a full moon and nice cool temperatures, they will still graze all throughout the night if they have the visibility to do so.
The goats were hired as part of a 2-week pilot project. Their goal is to clear out all the weeds and invasive brush behind me. If they're successful, the next project could be a whole lot bigger.
We'd really like to, if we can get the city's cooperation, expand that project to take care of our brush and our weed needs for the next 3 or 4 years.
With a goal of clearing 15 to 20 acres a year, Semke says goats may take longer than machines, but they provide a quieter and more environmentally friendly way to get the job done.
They do the same job very effectively and in a quiet, happy way where the neighbors just love it.
I think it's great. It's such a good idea. It doesn't do any noise and it does the job.
The idea of using goats as landscapers isn't new. In Merritt, they're already being used for wildfire prevention.
They're really good at this. They come in, they do their business. We also get fertilizer. How good is this, right? So, yeah, it's a win-win situation.
And for Heath and his hardworking herd, business has never been better.
When we started real small with 3, and then now we've got 50, so but it's been slowly growing that whole time.
Kevin Chirac, CTV News, Tsawwassen.
A stuffed donkey named Churro the Burro is wrapping up his last shift as an unofficial crew member on the BC ferry, where his 5-year-old owner lost him 6 days ago.
Do you want to go get him?
Beloved toy were reunited today thanks to the online antics of the Salish Ravens crew. When they found a stuffed donkey on board last Thursday, staff named it Churro the Burro and began chronicling his adventures at sea on social media. Those posts caught the attention of thousands online, leading to media coverage and eventually this reunion.
Until we actually saw the news article, we didn't know that he was gone.
I didn't know where he was.
Yeah.
And I think he was in the gift shop.
Staff say they're going to miss this little donkey's big impact on board. Churro isn't going home empty-handed, or rather empty-hooved. Staff made a special crew ID as a souvenir of Churro's short but sweet journey. An Ontario couple who say they came to Canada with nothing now has 70 million reasons to celebrate.
Never know that it's gonna happen like this.
Wills bought his wife Audrey a Lotto Max ticket for Mother's Day, and now they're multi-millionaires. The two have a few ideas about how they'll spend their winnings. Audrey would like to build a dream home in Jamaica, and Wills plans to restore some vintage cars. The winning ticket was purchased at a gas station in Brampton. After the break, a stunning scientific discovery.
They were concerned about seeing these diseased fish with these, inky black tumors.
Turns out those tumors were contagious. What cancer spreading among fish can tell us about cancer in humans. Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar saw a small bump, still trading for a little less than 71 cents U.S. Oil was up $2.49, closing around $86 U.S. a barrel. Gold was up about $75 on the day. On the stock market, the TSX gained 116 points and the Dow Jones lost 6 points. A new set of graphic health warnings is coming to cigarette packages across Canada. The new designs feature images highlighting the proven health impacts of smoking, both on smokers and those around them. The Canadian Cancer Society says the warnings have been shown to reduce smoking since they debuted in 2001, and rotating to a new set keeps them from becoming stale. Canada was the first country to require those package warnings, and in 2024 became the first to require warnings on individual cigarettes. 6 new messages are coming to that format as well, with all the updated messaging required by August 1st. The news isn't nearly as dire when it comes to coffee. A new study suggests drinking 5 cups a day could actually boost your cardiovascular health. Researchers found strong evidence that coffee may help protect against atrial fibrillation, the most common heart rhythm disorder. Researchers have discovered transmissible cancer in fish in a lake straddling the U.S.-Canada border. The surprising finding opens broader questions about the spread of cancer, pollution, and stress in the habitat of the species. CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin has the story.
Below the surface of majestic Lake Memphremagog, researchers discovered a strange phenomenon, a contagious cancer spreading among brown bullhead catfish.
One of the things we're thinking about is this actually more common and we just don't know about it?
The finding opens broader questions about the spread of cancer generally, but also about environmental stressors. Anglers began flagging black velvety growths on their catch more than a decade ago, concerned there was a virus or a pollutant causing disease.
They were concerned about seeing these diseased fish with these, inky black tumors.
Wildlife biologists eventually determined a rare skin cancer was afflicting more than a third of brown bullhead catfish in the lake. DNA testing eventually led U.S. scientists to conclude the cancer was actually spreading from fish to fish. They hypothesized it started with one catfish with a tumor shedding cancerous cells. Now, this is only the 4th type of transmissible cancer identified in the animal kingdom, the first in fish or freshwater species. Contagious forms have also been found in the Tasmanian devil, clams, and dogs. The discovery could help study melanoma in humans and perhaps other cancers. Could it tell us more about potential transmission of certain cancers in humans?
I think it could, in humans as well. The cancer is avoiding the immune system somehow.
There's no evidence that cancerous catfish cancer could spread to humans. Still, wildlife officials warn anglers not to eat the fish with tumors. Researchers are asking anglers who find a fish with a black patch to report it so they can get as much information as possible. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Magog, Quebec.
After several months of decline, auto sales across the country were up year over year in June. An estimated 182,000 vehicles were sold, up 1.9% from 2025. It bucked the downward trend that started last October. The numbers come from DesRosiers Automotive Consultants, and the firm says the numbers are welcome news, but the market is still stressed amid facing headwinds. The only province that saw fewer auto sales in June compared to last year was Ontario. What led up to a major train derailment in Calgary last week? We are now learning more through dispatch audio that a man had been spotted on the train before and after it somehow had become uncoupled. Calgary transit operators frantically called it in, and within the hour, the train had derailed. CTV's Tyson Fedor reports.
There was a guy attached to the side of the train as he was going by. He wasn't one of the workers, and he looked like he was in a panic mode.
Sorry, you said there was somebody attached to the train, the big train that went by?
Calgary transit operators were quick to spot a man hanging off the side of a CPKC freight train in South Calgary last week.
It was an outbound CP rail train. Right on the last car, there was this guy struggling, hanging on to a side latch on the train.
This guy, he's still on the back of that train. He's joyriding on the train.
These audio recordings are publicly available through Broadcastify. It was around 7:15 on July 13th when transit operators notified dispatchers of unusual activity on the CPKC train that morning, the railway running parallel with the LRT Red Line. Staff saw the man on the train around Fish Creek Lacombe Station and reported that the train had uncoupled.
You think the one that got uncoupled is nobody's driving it? Nobody's driving it. It's free to run. It's a one-way train.
The man described as having brown hair wearing jeans was once again spotted on the back of that southbound train around 162nd Avenue Southwest before the train derailed south of that.
After that train, there was another train that was going backwards.
Around 7:40 a.m., CPKC operators were also speaking with dispatch colleagues.
8.12, it's derailed. For yourself, you're all okay. Do you require any medical services?
RTC had told us that there was a trespasser on our train. Sounds like there's cars on the ground at the tail end of our train around mile 108.
13 rail cars derailed carrying loads of lumber, plywood, propane, and argon. Most cars ending up in the Pritis Slough, but officials said there was no environmental damage to the wetlands. CPKC tells CTV News all the rail cars have been removed and that it cannot confirm if the man was on the train. The Transportation Safety Board says because the investigation is in its infancy, it's not at liberty to discuss additional details at this time. Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Blood donors are desperately needed as the Canadian Blood Service warns its supply has dropped by 20% since June 1st. The organization says it needs about 18,000 appointments every week to meet hospital demands, but bookings have fallen short by between 1,500 and 2,500 each week over the past 6 weeks.
We do see that seasonal slowdown each year, and it is unusual that the appointments have fallen further than what we would normally expect. We are closely monitoring the trend. We don't have a silver bullet of why this is the reason this year, but regardless of the exact reason, the solution really is the same. So we need more people to book their appointments and actually come to their appointments to replenish the blood supply.
Extra weekend appointments have been added at many donor centers to help boost donations ahead of the August long weekend. That's when the organization says trauma and urgent care needs can increase. If the box office excitement around the Odyssey has inspired you to check out the source material, you're not alone.
We won the war. Help me go home.
While the latest version of Homer's epic takes over movie theaters, Variety reports it's also driving a surge in book sales. Figures from Circana BookScan show purchases of all versions of the nearly 3,000-year-old tale are up 76% this year. Spotify says audiobook streams of the Odyssey are up roughly 680% since last week's premiere. After the break, we've got some very deserving four-legged friends looking for loving homes. Maybe you can help, but first.
Oh, there we go. They got orcas.
They got orcas all right, and those orcas got dolphins. How some lucky whale watchers found themselves in the middle of a hunt. And later, Bonnie's Enchanted Forest. Adam finds out how a magical garden inspired a woman to cultivate healing. Coming up on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Right now, here's a preview of Your Morning Vancouver.
Well, tariffs are once again making headlines. What does it mean for Canadian goods? Thursday on Your Morning Vancouver, what is driving the latest Trump tariffs and the latest on how Canada is reacting? Plus, the BC Lions are returning to the Den, a preview of their first game of the year back at BC Place as they take on the Argos. We'll see you in the morning.
The Canadian men's soccer team will be back in action in just a couple of months following its historic run at the World Cup. The Canadians will host Chile in Toronto on September 26th. It's one of two friendlies scheduled for the fall. The other is October 3rd in Montreal against Peru. Canada played both teams in the group stage of the 2024 Copa America. We defeated Peru 1-0 and tied Chile 0-0. Our national team earned its first ever World Cup point in a 1-1 draw with Bosnia and Herzegovina June 9th, and of course went on to beat South Africa in the round of 32. A pod of orcas put on quite the show for a whale-watching boat in California. Some lucky passengers got a front row seat as the orcas hunted a group of dolphins in Monterey Bay. The most dramatic moment came when one of the whales breached, ramming a dolphin with enough force to send it flying. The tour operator called it a truly special sighting. A week-old harbor seal pup found alone near Bowen Island is now safe after a joint rescue mission by Vancouver Police and the Vancouver Aquarium Marine Mammal Rescue Society. The rescue effort was launched around 5 p.m. yesterday after someone spotted the distressed seal pup alone on the shore at Seymour Bay. VPD's Marine Unit brought 3 veterinary technicians to the area where they safely recovered the female pup, now named Canadian Bacon. She's under close medical care, and rescuers say they're cautiously optimistic she'll be strong enough to return to the wild in the coming months. Cutie. To California now, where a great white shark was spotted getting dangerously close to a group of children swimming in the ocean.
I'm searching the shores, and this particular shark came from the depths, and I saw it near the swimmers. I did get nervous, and my heartbeat did go a little higher.
Carlos Gana captured this drone video. He said the children had no idea the 10-foot predator was so close. Luckily, no one was hurt. This year has seen the highest number of shark sightings off the California coast in a decade. Experts say that's because of an El Nino weather pattern that's warming up ocean waters and is leading to more sightings like this one. Okay, hopefully those sharks stay in California. They don't come north. We got our own marine wildlife here. Well, it's time for Homeward Bound, our weekly segment where we introduce you to furry friends from local rescues looking for their forever home.
That's right, and here are pets now available to adopt from the BC SPCA.
Say hello to King and LeBron. This bonded pair of 6-year-old Pomeranian Chihuahua mixes are like 2 peas in a pod. Both boys love each other and people and are always up for a cuddle, love, attention, and they enjoy going on daily walks together. If you want to double your fun with these best buds, they're available for adoption at the West Vancouver SPCA.
Aw, two's better than one. Well, meet Batman. This 2-year-old retriever named after the Cape Crusader is full of energy and looking for an active family that can keep up with his crime fighting. Batman will do best with a family that enjoys outdoor adventures, loves exercise, and saving Gotham City from the Joker. With some patience and training, he is sure to make a fantastic addition to your Justice League at home. Batman is available now at the Richmond SPCA.
Batman sold separately. Batmobile sold separately.
Exactly.
And finally, say hello to Chandler. She is a sweet 11-month-old kitten who is looking for a patient home that will give her time to come out of her shell. Shy and timid, Chandler prefers not to be picked up, but will likely become a very loving girl in the right home. She will do best in a quiet household with no other animals, so she can have free reign over her new home. And Chandler is available at the Surrey SPCA. Just the queen of the castle. She just wants it all to herself.
As she should.
Exactly. And for more information, head to impact.sbca.bc.ca.
Well, Lauren, what are you working on for 11:30 tonight?
Well, Nafisa, we'll be tracking BC's wildfire fight as the situation continues to rapidly change and evolve, as we saw off the top of our show. We'll have the latest on evacuation orders, alerts, and all the updates from fire crews as we are in for more hot, dry weather with no major reprieve in sight.
Sounds good. Thank you, Lauren.
Well, finally, Adam finds out the story behind a Vancouver Island woman who transformed an unremarkable space into a magical garden and how it helped heal more than just the landscape on tonight's Sawatsky Sign-Off.
When she first started doing these daily walks to the end of her complex's driveway, Bonnie Duncan would look for animals.
It's just having the wildlife nearby is just so wonderful.
She would capture deer and eagles with her camera, and on rainy days would find shelter under the trees.
And feel like I was getting a big hug from nature.
So Bonnie decided to return the favor by tending to the garden surrounding the trees, particularly the heather.
I lost my youngest daughter at age 17. Her name was Heather. So it was like, how can I revive the heather?
And while pruning the plants, Bonnie uncovered a large rock.
I looked at it and it was like, that's a house.
So she placed a smaller rock on top to make a simple chimney before a neighbor donated a more elaborate front door.
And I thought, you know, we got the start of a fairy garden.
So Bonnie began spending countless hours transforming the space, which inspired all sorts of people passing to smile so much they donated dozens of decorations. And now this enchanted forest, along with its heather plants, is thriving.
As I nurture the plants, I feel like I'm nurturing myself, and also I feel the presence of heather.
Because along with the deer and eagle, and beyond these butterfly decorations, when she's working here, Bonnie says she's regularly visited by very real butterflies.
They say that butterflies is somebody that you've lost coming to check in and say, how you doing?
And although how Bonnie responds to that question will depend on the day, because grief has a habit of arriving unannounced, her answer will always include gratitude for both the solace this magical oasis provides and the healing.
It feels so good. Do what gives you joy. And wow, what a transformation.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
The Sawatsky Sign-Off, brought to you by 1-800-GOT-JUNK. They make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Well, my hat's off to Bonnie and all the gardeners out there. I do not have a green thumb whatsoever. I know you do, though. You are
I love flowers.
a noted
I love
lover
gardens,
of plants.
for sure. I just have to get little gnomes and little
maybe you could do the fairy
butterflies.
garden part.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
not the
No
flowers.
I'll get the little figurines.
Exactly. All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot tonight. Take a look at this picture.
Oh,
That's
boy.
a pyrocumulus nimbus cloud. That's a wildfire cloud that generates its own weather system, believe it or not. Taken from Coquitlam, they saw this. That's something from Boston Bar, believe it or not.
Wow.
And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well. Thanks, Brad, for this gorgeous photo. Email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca. Pretty scary stuff.
Beautiful and terrifying.
Yeah.
That is all for us tonight. Thank you so much for sharing part of your evening with us, and stay safe out there. Good night.
Good night.